Oh dear. Good morning, everyone. I have forgotten to hardwire in, so give me just a minute because I don't want to drop today because we're doing something together. You were going to need some crochet cotton and a H or an 8 hook, and I'll tell you the millimeters for that in just a minute because I know we're not all on American terms, although the pattern is in American terms. So there's that. All right, it might stutter, a little bit while it grabs. I've been running around like a mad woman trying to pull all this stuff together last minute because I started helping Scott last night with the floor because he was getting more and more tired, and I just wanted him to stop for the day, but he wanted to get where he had to pull boards out. Morning, Nan. Where he had to pull the boards out and we had to kind of weave in the new with the old. And yeah, he was about to hit on empty on that. So I was going to tell you the millimeters for an H is 5 millimeters. All right, and I just wanted to show that there's a variety of crochet cottons out there. This is Lion Brand's Kitchen Cotton, Lily Sugar and Cream. That's a sugar and cream. That's probably sugar and cream too. Yeah, most of mine's sugar and cream. This is peaches and cream, and I think this is what you can get at Walmart, and it splits easier than the other, I think it is. But you can see you can get a wide variety. You can get, this is a self-striping. This is just a gradient change. Same with that one. This one's more like you end up with speckles of color. Some of these are called naturals, so they're all natural hues. I mean, you can get these cottons in just a variety of things. So let's see here. There's a couple more things I haven't grabbed yet. Maybe this will give everybody else a chance to get up while I get my proverbial poop in a group here. Looking for either a stitch marker like that looks like a tiny little baby safety diaper pin, or you can just use a safety pin, or you can just use a bit of other colored string to mark your first stitch, because you are going to want to mark the first stitch because we're working in the round without connecting with a slip stitch. All right. And I know there's several people have asked me to show how I do color changes. So we're going to do some color changes. I was thinking I'd use this, but I do want to focus more with solids because they're easier to see, I think. So I'm going to set all the variegated stuff back aside, out of our way. I'm trying to set my basket up with variegated. I'm trying to use up all this cotton. And if I start making flower dishcloths for next Christmas, they'll be good to go. I'll make up a variety of pot holders and dishcloths and stuff. And Scott could take them into his job, and I can have them available for family and friends. Might even do a sale on my Facebook group around Thanksgiving-ish time. All right, so we're going to start now, and I'm going to move you guys, if I can, up. And I got to get rid of the autofocus. And yes, I'm still in PJs, so sorry about that. I think Scott's taking tomorrow off because he has an appointment with a dermatologist. He's got some spots that he wants looked at. And I do want to note that when I was in Starbucks on Friday waiting for Bernadette, I worked up my set. This is the one that I sat and made at Starbucks. And I wrote the pattern out while I was sitting there. So this is the pattern for it. And then I did like this, and I'm like, what did I do wrong? Because this is smaller. Well, what I found out is I repeated row 10 twice. So that's how I ended up. This one's one row larger, but I ended the one we're going to do together with just 12 rounds. So you only have to go around 12 times and this dishcloth is done. I think this is a nice size dishcloth. And but this one I was just playing with my scraps, so that's how it's so scrappy. I'll probably keep this one for myself. So let's make one like this, and we'll start. We don't necessarily have to make it exactly like this, so maybe we'll start with the darker yellow this time. So the first thing you're going to do is we're going to do a magic ring, and I know everybody gets freaked out by magic rings, and I've learned a new way to do them where the ring, excuse me, the ring doesn't open back up on you. And it creates a stronger center. So this is going to look really confusing to some folks, but we'll try. So you're going to take your yarn and hold it between your index finger and your thumb. And what I want to do is actually hold them like this so that you can wrap around these two. So I'm going to go around once, then go right behind it, wrap around twice, go behind it, and wrap around 3 times. And when you do it this way, you end up with something that won't back out. Then you'll come under the first 2, 1, 2, go under and grab this string that's, you can see it's coming from the tail over there. And then you just pull it up and just pinch right there. Get you some yarn free so that you got fluid motion. And we are going to chain 1 right here just to lock that there. Then I want you to put 6 single crochets into the magic ring. So you just go inside, and there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And then the body of this is all worked in single crochets. The only time we're going to use some other stitches is on the very outer edge for the petals on the flower. All right, now that you've got your 6 on there, what you're going to do is just take the tail that's on the magic ring. Sorry, you guys, I woke up really hoarse. All right, you're going to take the tail, just gently pull it. Don't pull it all the way tight. Don't pull it all the way tight. Just gently pull it a little bit so you can see which one's moving. All right, so we saw that this is the one moving. So what we need to do is take the one that was moving and pull it, not that way, the other way, so that you're pulling the loop that was in the background tighter. Now this is the loop that was moving before. Now you grab your tail and just pull it, and it locks that magic ring in. All right, and again, we are not we're not going to do a slip stitch and then chain 1 and then start. We're just going to start the next round. So now we're going to put 2 single crochets into every single crochet around. So when you get to the end, you should have 12 single crochets. So if you can't really see where the first one is, you can count back. So go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So that's where we need to work. And what I do is I take this really long tail and I just leave it attached, and I'm going to work over it. So I'm going to go into that first stitch and do 2 single crochets. And after I've done the second single crochet, I take my marker and I'm going to go ahead and use this. But if you don't have stitch marker like that or a safety pin, you can just loop a piece of thread into there. So what I would do if I was using thread, you go, this was the second stitch, you go back to the first one. And this is what I had to do at Starbucks because I forgot a safety pin or marker. You just take and you loop it just like you're doing a loop, like a slip knot. So you'll have a loop on one side, and now it's split. I think this has been used too many times. What I'm not trying to show everybody, it's a smooth motion. So if you don't have a safety pin handy or a stitch marker, you can mark it like that, and it's easy to remove. You just grab the loop and pull it out. All right, so let's continue putting 2 single crochets in every single crochet around. So this would be stitch 3, stitch 4, and in the next one you do 5 and 6, stitch 5 and 6, and then 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, and 12. Oops, I need to move this out of the way. We're wrapping up on each other. All right, so we've gotten, what a morning to be, have a frog in my throat. So we've been all the way around. We put 2 in every single one. So now on the next round, we're going to go 2 in the first one, 1 in the second one, 2, and then 1, and then 2, and then 1, all the way around. And then you'd end up where you have just 6 additional stitches added. So that will give you 18. If you have to figure that out and know that stitch count, I'm not going to have that for you on every single one. But as long as you're doing the pattern that I tell you and you end up still in the pattern at the end, you know, the repeat of 2, 1, 2, 1, you should be fine. All right. We're going to pull our stitch marker out of the first stitch. And I just keep this long tail. I mean, you can cut this off at this point if you feel like it's in your way. I just like to make sure it at least goes around once, but I just don't want to waste the thread. And I figure if it's, you know, around again, it's not going to hurt anything, but I'm used to doing this. So again, we're going to put 2 in the first one. 1 and 2. And then take a moment to put your marker in the first one. So that's the second stitch. The first one is back 1. And you really want to make sure you're marking that first stitch. If you forget to mark it, you won't know where you're going. All right, so in the next stitch, you only put 1 single crochet. And how I'm carrying this along and hiding it is I'm just laying it atop the stitches. It's no biggie to hide that. And then in the next stitch, so we did in that one, so we're going to come over here and put 2 in this one. 1 and 2, and then in the next stitch is a 1 single crochet. So this round is nothing but 2 in the first, 1 in the second, and then repeat around back to 2, 1, 2, 1. And then if you forget, you can kind of see where you had 2 because it has 2 legs, and there's a 1, and there's 2, and there's 1. So this one needs the second one. And by legs, I mean the part that's like down into the stitch. You can see when you've done 2 and 1, because you'll have like legs that go down. Back to 1 single crochet. The next one you'll do 2. If you guys want, I'll type this pattern up and put it on my community tab as a freebie for me. I just came up with this on my own, so 1 and 2, and then you do 1 here, and then you should have 2 stitches left, so you'll do 2 in that one and 1 in that one. That's what I mean by once you get around here, as long as the pattern is continuing, you're okay. And meanwhile, I have buried the tail from the magic loop around and around and around. It is not going to back out. This dishcloth will last forever because that tail is also giving more strength. All right, so now on this row, we're going to do 2 in the first one and then singles in the next 2. So now we're doing 2 in the first, then a single, then 2 in the next one, and single and single. So it's a 2 and 2 this time. So I'm going to take this out, and again, we'll do 2 stitches and stop on the second stitch and put your marker in. If you don't stop to put that marker in, you'll be in a pickle. And nobody likes that. So now we're going to do 2 single crochets. Instead of putting 2 in one, we'll put 1 here and then 1 in the next stitch. So when I say 2 and then 1, 1, that's the pattern that you repeat around. So you do 2 in the next one and then a single and a single. And this pattern is nothing but single crochets. And everything will be easier for you to see once I get my tail dealt with. But that's how I deal with the tail. I wanted to show that because I didn't want to clip it and just have a bunch of tails laying around. You can just bury it that way. And then 2, that's right. I don't know if you can see it or not, but it's real obvious where you've put 2 stitches. See, there's 2 legs. See the 2 legs? And then when you've done a single one, it doesn't look like 2 V's together. See, there's a V and there's a V. And then when you do a single, it's just 1 V and 1 V. That's how to visually see what you have. So we know that it's 2, 1, 1, 2, 1, 1. And then this one should have 2 in it. Two, and then the 2 singles. Uh-oh, that's one of my hairs working in there. All right, so we should have 3 stitches left to do 2 and then a 1, 1. So we're still in pattern. So we did fine. Good morning, Teresa and Ray and Ann and Vicky and anybody else I missed. All right, so we got to finish with the 2 that are singles. All right, so now we've done 2, 1, 1. which is 2 singles and then a single and a single, then 2. So this round you're going to go 2 and then 3 singles. So we'll do 2 in this one and then 1, 2, 3, then 2. It's always you're adding as you go, and this is going to be 1, 2, 3, 4. This will be round 5. So the stitches 2 plus 3 is 5. So we're on row 5, and so you're going to, on row 5, you'll be doing 2 plus 3 equals 5. That's another way to keep track of your increases. So we'll put 2 in the first one, stop, and put your marker in the first stitch. Do that right now. All right. You need to know what the 4th row was. The 4th row was 2 plus 2. Because we've got the magic ring. We started with 6 single crochets. The next round, the second round, is 2 in every single crochet. So you end up with 12. Then the next round is 2 plus 1, which that's the 3rd round. 2 plus 1 is 3. Then the 4th round is 2 plus 2, 4th round. And then the 5th row is 2 plus 3. It's all mathematical. Knitting and crochet is really all about mathematical equations. It's all patterns. Math is nothing but patterns. If you stop thinking about it as a procedure and think about it as a repeated pattern, you will understand math better and how patterns work and develop a pattern. You're developing a pattern with a pattern. All right, so we got to do, I got here. That's 1, 2. So now we got to do 3 that are by themselves in the next 3 stitches. 2 and 3, and then you do 2 together. And this is probably going to take us at least an hour because I want to make sure I'm not missing any questions. I want to make sure I'm showing the pattern. So then you do 2 together, and I'll type this pattern up for you guys so you can just print it off. And hopefully I'll print it in the correct way that patterns are written so that you'll understand it. 3, and then 2 in the stitch, and I got a loopity-loop in my way. So 2 and then 3 equals 5. So 1, 2, 3, and then we do 2 again, and then 3, and you just keep doing that around. And on this one, I changed color on the 5th row, but we're going to go ahead and change color on the 6th row this time. 2 plus 1, 2, 3. We should have 4 left here so that the pattern will continue. So if you've got 4 stitches, when you get around, you know you've made it successfully. All right, now when you get to the last stitch, stop right there. When you've got the 2 loops on your hook, just stop. Don't take it any farther. Bring your thread and just lay it toward the front. And then I'm just going to draw a loop from the new color. So I'm going to lay that tail across the front with the thread that I'm working now. And I'm just going to draw a loop up on that. And then I'll catch these 2 as I go like I did the long tail. So I'm going to take my marker out. All right. I'm going to make sure these 2 tails are where I can bury them. And I'm just going to put 2 in the first one. We always start with 2 in the first one. So 1 and 2. And then I'm just going to cut the color I was previously using. I'll just cut it off. Teresa, I can once I get it on the computer, I could just mail you a copy if you want me to. I'll print it off for you. Or you can handwrite it. I'll leave it up to you if you want to do that. But if I do it on the printer, I could even blow it up for you. So we do 2 on the right. So now we're on row 6. 2 plus what equals 6? 2 plus 4. So we're going to go 2 and then 4 on their own. Then 2 and then 4 on their own around. And I'm going to catch both of these tails. I've never had these back out because I leave them fairly long. I don't tie knots because I don't like knots. So you do the 2 there, and then we're just going to do the 4 on their own. So 1, 2, 3, 4, and then you go back to the start of the pattern, which is 2 in the next one. 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 'Try not to catch my tails. 4, and then we'll do 2 in the next one. I just knock it down with my thumb when it tries to get in my way. But I have been crocheting for a little bit. So now we're doing the 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. And see, now the tail is gone. And that's just how I connect them. I don't knot them or anything. If you want extra security, you can take and cover your tail for a few stitches and then just leave the tail hanging off the back and then sew it back in going in the opposite direction. That's just another, if you want that added security. I've never had a problem with them backing out doing it this way. Now, if it was something I was going to wear, I would probably leave the tail a little bit longer, hide it within the stitches a certain amount of ways, and then I would sew it back in, making sure I make my needle go through the yarns, split the yarns as I sew it in and in the opposite direction that I had hid the stitches. That way it won't, with wear. And you know what? I didn't put my marker in, but we know where the beginning is because we changed color with the first stitch. So this is the only time you can get away with that. If you're using the same color, you would never know when you got back to the beginning. So that's a good thing that happened, in that now you know why it's really important. If you didn't have this color change right here, you would be really messed up when it came to getting around to the beginning. All right, so we did 2, then 4. So we're on another group. So now I've done 2. So now we're going to do 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. And we'll do 2 in this one. 1, 2, 3, 4. Now, if you get to this point and you're like wondering if you've messed up, think about how many stitches you're covering for your pattern. So in the first stitch, we do 2, and then we do 4. So that's 5 stitches we're working in. So we should have 5 stitches left to be worked. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So yay, we've made it. So we'll put 2 in this one. If you learn the visual clues and think about your pattern repeat, when you get to it should be the last pattern repeat, it's really easy to tell whether you've messed up or not. And if I'm giving too much information, please let me know. All right, so now we know we're at the beginning. Now this row, we better make sure that we put our marker in. This row is going to be row 6, which is going to be, no, we did row 6. This is going to be row 7. So again, 2 in the first one plus what equals 7? 5. So we'll do 2 in the first one, then we'll do 5 on their own, 2 in the next one, 5 on their own, around for row 7. So in this first stitch, I'm going to do 2. And when I get to the second stitch, we're going to stop and put our marker in, because we are working in the round. And if you don't put this marker in, I don't care how good you think you are, it's not going to matter. You're going to get around and go, have I gotten around? Have I gotten around? Remember, now we're doing 5 singles on their own. 3, 4, and 5. And then 2 together. 1, 2. And I got to pull some more string out of the middle here. Good morning, everybody. I see Maria has shown up and Sandra Louise. Good morning. Yeah, it's a bit early in Alabama. Yeah. So we've done the 2, so now we got to do 5. And I'm sorry about the plane noises. They're all taking off for the day, and it's Monday morning, so. What? What's the matter? What? Now? It's not time for Greg to get up now. Why do you want to go get Greg up? He's asking to go out in the bonus room. All right, so we did 2 together, so now we're going to do 5. And then 2 together, and then 5. 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Let me get to the end of this row and I'll let you out. I know you want now. Can you? What? Stop changing your tone with me. I told you you're going to have to wait. Huh? So now you can see your markers coming up. So we should have 6 stitches left to work in. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. That way you know, because we're putting 2 in the first one and then 5. So that way we know that we'll be able to finish our pattern repeat. Okay. But you can change color on whatever round you want. No matter where on this, you can just change your color anytime you want. If you want this to be a different color on every round, you can do that. You just got all of those tails to deal with. All right, give me just a second. And I will put Cole out. I'm coming. Piper a headache with all your yowling. I haven't put Bernadette out yet because she tucked her head back under her paw and said she wasn't quite ready to go out. All right, so now we are on round 8. So we're going to do 2 plus 6 is 8. So we'll do 2 in the first one, then 6 singles on their own, then 2. I hope that's making sense. And that's kind of how you work a flat circle in crochet. And he went right out there and woke Greg up. 1, 2. That's okay. Greg's got to get up and get ready for work. So now we do 6. Got 2 there, and then we'll do 6 singles. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I'm going to have to move the dishcloth because I keep getting wrapped up in it. So I just did 2 in that one. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 2, and then 6. Good morning, Carol. And I am so sorry about the froggy throat again. Oh, you guys, we got some more of the floor put down in the hallway, and we're having to replace red oak. That stuff splinters like no other buddy's business, and we kept picking splinters out of our fingers. 1 more. 6, and then 2. And then 2, and then 6. Did I do that right? Let's look. There's 2 there. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 2, and then 6. And 2. Good morning to Carol. If I didn't say it already, I think I did. 2, and then 6. I kind of put a bee in Scott's head too, because I said, what if we just built a wall around the HVAC pipe that goes up from the floor through the ceiling to the attic and out to the bonus room? I said, we could just build a chamber for it and just paint it white, and it would just be hidden that way. So I put that in his head thinking, that might be something we could do, and that would save him having to fussy cut all of the plywood, the red oak to go around that pipe. I don't know if he's going to go for it or not, but I'm having trouble seeing. 2, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So we should have 1 more pattern repeat. So we should have 7 stitches. Is that right? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Yep. 7 stitches left to work into. Got a little loose there. It's okay. It's a dishcloth. 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. So now we're on row 9. So 2 plus 7 equals 9. So we're going to do 2 in the first stitch. So we'll take this out. Callie, I don't have a basket up here right now. So there's 1 and 2. We're going to stop and put our marker in the first stitch. And now we'll do 7 on their own. Oops. Four, 5, 6, 7, and then we'll do 2, 1, 2, and then 7, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and then we'll do 2 in the next one. 1, 2, and then 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Oh Lord, it's been a wreck again. 7, and then do 2 here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and then we'll do 2, 2, and then 7, 2, and then 2, and then 7, and we'll be back at the beginning again. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. If you get around and you don't end in the pattern, you know you've missed something somewhere, and you can go back and look. If you put your work down flat, you can see where the 2s are, because they kind of jut out where the 2s are. And then you know that between the 2s, you should have 7. It's real easy to visualize if you keep kind of an eye on it. So now we're on row 10. So this will be the last round we work in yellow, and then we're going to switch to a color. So you guys, do we want to make another pink petals, white petals, purple petals, or navy blue petals? You guys pick the color, and that's what we'll do our petals in. But for this round, you're going to do 2 plus 8 equals the 10th round. So we're going to do 2 in the first one, and then 8, and then 2, and then 8. Pam's going to the balcony. That's fine. Oh my goodness. All right, so we're going to do 1, 2. And then put your marker in, whether you're using a safety pin, a marker, or even a piece of thread looped through there. Put it in now. All right. So now we got to do 8 on their own. and then we'll do 2. Here's another thing. You'll notice that when you do your 2 and then do 8 and do 2 again, you'll notice if you look where you are on the row below, you're putting the 2 into the first stitch of the increase of the previous round, okay? So you'll know that way too. That's another visual clue if you're going in the right direction. All right, so now I'm doing my 8. So there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Then you'll notice you're in the first stitch of that 2 that you did on the previous row, and you're going to put 2 in the first of those stitches. So 2 here. I'm trying to give you lots of visual clues for anybody that's just getting into crochet. If you learn the visual clues, I mean, you can tell where you are just by noting what you're going into. Again, it's all math. Things you're in the natural world, natural order, they just recognize patterns. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And then we're in that first stitch of that 2. We're going to put 2 there. And then we'll do 8. And then 2 here. Two, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8, and 2 together. Two. Oh, and I wasn't paying attention to see what color you guys wanted to do. Okay, Sandra Louise says do purple. All right, we'll do a purple flower. 2. So we should have just our 8 singles left to do. So there's 2. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. And on the 8th one, just leave the 2 loops again and bring your tail to the front across here. And I'm going to get the purple started here. Maybe. Ray is here. All right. I got to find my tail. Sorry, I got a bit of yarn vomit. At least that's what we call it. Yarn vomit is what you pull out of the center. All right, lay your tail down with that tail and draw a loop through the 2 yellow pieces, because what you're creating is the top of the first stitch. When you do that last pull through, you're working the top of the next stitch. So now I'm going to pull my marker out, and this is row 11, so 2 plus 9. So we're going to do 2 in the first one, and again, I've got both tails here between my fingers, and I'm laying them atop the stitches I'm going to work into. And I'm going to do 2 in here. 1 and 2. I'm going to go ahead and put my marker in, even though we can definitely see where the first stitch is here. I'm going to take a minute and I'm going to just snip my yellow free. And I don't tie knots because then you'd have a hard place in your piece. So we're on 11, so 2 and then 9. So 2, and now we're going to do 9 on their own. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. And then we'll put 2 in the next one. Uh-oh. 2 and then 9. And again, I'm hiding the tails as I go along by just laying them on top of the stitches below. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and then 2 in this one. And there goes the last of the tails, all hidden. 2, and then we'll do 9. Thank you. Audience added purple. Sandra Louise added the purple. 2, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and then 2 together. Oh, did you all see the Pope passed away today? Pope Francis passed away. Wonder who the church will put in charge of the Catholic Church. It's definitely an upside down kind of time, isn't it? 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 2. I'm pulling thread out. You didn't see that? It was a news blip on my phone first thing this morning. All right, so I'm to the 2 increase of the previous row, so I should have 9 here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. I am. So there should be just the 10 stitches left to work. All right. So now we're going to do the petal round. And this is the only round where you might end up with one stitch left over at the end, but it's not visible. I doubt you guys can even see where the final stitch went in on this one. So we're not going to worry about that, but we're going to go with the pattern. All right, so we're not going to need the marker anymore because this is our last round. So we're going to single crochet in the very first stitch. Okay, so single crochet, and this is the part where it gets kind of weird. You're going to skip a stitch, and then we're going to create a shell, which is made up of 1 half double crochet, 1 double crochet, 1 treble crochet, 1 double crochet, 1 half double crochet. Then you skip a stitch, do a single crochet, and then we do that shell again of 1 half, 1 double, 1 triple, 1 double, 1 half. So we skip a stitch, and then a half double is you yarn over like you're going to do a double crochet, and you insert the hook. So remember, skip 1, insert your hook, draw up a loop, and then draw through all 3 loops. That's a half double crochet. Then yarn over, draw up a loop, go through 2, and then 2. And then for treble, you yarn over twice. So you wrap twice. And then you go in here and you say 1, 2, 3. And you're going through 2 stitches each time you're counting. That's how you get the treble crochet. All right, so now back to double. So yarn over once, go back in the same stitch. These are all worked into that stitch that we are working into. Then we do another half double where you go and you drop a loop, and then you draw through all 3. And you've created a shell or a petal. Then we're going to skip the next stitch, single crochet, and the stitch after that. And then we're going to do a half double, a double, a treble, a half double, no, a double, and then a half double. So yarn over, skip a stitch into the next stitch, work your half double, then work a double with a yarn over once, drop a loop, and then there's 1, and then there's 2. So that's double. Treble, yarn over twice, go into that same hole or stitch and go 1, and then through 2 more, that's 2, and through the last, that's 3. Then double, yarn over once, go in that same stitch, draw up, go through the first 2, go through the second 2, and then you're going to yarn over, go in here, and then pull through all 3 loops for a half double. Skip the next stitch, this next stitch right there, and in the next one, single crochet. And that's all we're going to do the rest of the way around. And then when we get back to the beginning, we'll just slip stitch into our first stitch, and ta-da! Sew in the tail, and you'll have a dishcloth, or it can be we talked about it in Craft and Chat Friday, that it could be just a place to set up a flower pot if you wanted to. Oh, Carol's going back to sleep. Okay, thanks for coming by. Skip a stitch, work a shell. So half double, double, treble, and then the yarn is split. Give me a second. And then a double, and then a half double. And then skip a stitch. Trying to see where my stitch is. And then single crochet. Sometimes it gets a little dodgy as to where that stitch is that you're going to skip, because the shells get so chonky. So then skip a stitch and do another shell. And that's the half double, a double, and a treble. and then do another double and a half double. So the shells are really half. So you could say 1, 2, 3, 2, 1. If you think about it mathematically, numbers wise. And then skip a stitch, single crochet, then do that half double in the stitch after you skip one. Oh, half double, Becky, back up, mess that up. Half double, you draw through all 3 of your loops. And then a double, and then a treble, 2, 3, and then a double, and then a half double, and then skip the next stitch, single crochet in the next stitch, then skip a stitch, and then do your half double, double, treble, double, half double. The Cardinals would like me to refill the bird feeders, I think. And then we'll skip the next one, single crochet in the next one after that, then skip one and do your shell again. Yeah. Or you could even use it as a candle mat, you know, one of those big fat candles. You know, the jar candles that have like 3 wicks. This would be about the perfect size for that. And because they're cotton, you could also use them over like with a picture of lemonade or iced tea so that it doesn't sweat on your table because the cotton would absorb it. Then you skip a stitch and do a single crochet, skip a stitch, do one of these shells until you get around to the end. And you'll see what I mean, because I think I ended up with an extra stitch, but it's not really visible. Oh, see, this yarn, it's driving me crazy with the splitting. 3. This is Lily's Sugar and Cream. The kitchen cotton doesn't split quite like this. That's all right. We're getting there. Hello, Howard. Honey, I don't have your basket over here right now. I needed the space. Skip a stitch, do a single crochet, and then skip a stitch and do your shell. Oh, I'm getting where you guys can't see too. My arms are getting tired holding them up. Mug rug, yes. Definitely could be a mug rug. It'd be a different shape than they normally are too. You could do a, oh, you know what? Did I do a treble in the middle? That's, skip a stitch, do a single crochet. If you did something small and then added petals, they could also be car coasters. Or for a teenage girl, they could be cute little makeup cleansing cloths. You could make her a little basket of flowers. That might be a pattern to work up for later. Then we're doing the shell here. See, I don't think I did a treble in the middle of that one. That's driving me nuts. I'm gonna pull it back because I don't think I did a treble in the center of this petal here. There we go. Skip one, do your single. Skip one, do a shell. Yep, so many options. You could even crochet a basket to put the little sponges in or the little makeup things in. Howard's lusting after my coffee. I know he is. I have to watch that cat. He'll get in my coffee, and it's very bad for animals. It can actually trigger a heart attack. So I don't let them anywhere near it. And then skip one, do a single crochet, skip one, do a shell. We're almost there. My elbow's hurting from rubbing on the table. Oh, well. All right, let's do another shell. Oh, I'm getting so tickled. I'm hoping that we'll finish the hall floor and the bathroom about all at the same time. So that part of the house will be back in order. Oh, my sister-in-law's in town for Easter. And she said, well, when you get all the floors back together, what will you do? And Scott's like listing off the things that we still have left to do. We have replacement windows that still need to be put in from like 15 years ago. They're sitting out there in the bonus room. If we emptied out all of the supplies we have in the bonus room for projects around the house, there'd be a ton of room out there. Just saying, Scott. He's like, I know. Baby steps, we're getting there. Two, three. I find the treble stitches the hardest thing to do sometimes because you got to remember to go through two at a time, and it's a tall stitch, and then. But you could make your petals with any combination. I just really liked how this looked, so that's why I wrote my pattern this way. So we're going to skip that stitch, single crochet in this one, then skip a stitch and work a shell. 1, 2, and then the treble crochet where you go 3 times through 2 loops, and back to the double, and then a half double, and then skip that stitch, single crochet in this stitch, and then skip a stitch and work another shell. I'm going to watch Janet, and then I've got to go out in the yard and do some yard work, and I'm hoping I can get the front yard taken care of between Janet signing off and us needing to do our Monday stitch time. That starts at 2. I really need to limit my time outside. I've got a couple medications that don't really want you to be in the sunshine, so. But the front yard's got to be cleaned up before the city rule breakers say that my dandelions are too tall. But I like to leave the dandelions for the bees. It's their first food, and I don't like to cut them down. Scott got in trouble last time he mowed because he mowed my daylilies down. I ran out there. I was like, no, these are my flowers. Don't mow them down. He's like, I knew I'd mess up. He said, I thought that was just stuff that came up out of the bird seed. And I was like, no, I planted these here. Bless him. Anyway, let's see. So did I just mess up? Let me look at it. I think I did. Let me take that out. Let me see. It's hard to tell. No, there's a stitch. So yeah, we're going to single crochet in this one. And then we'll skip one and do a shell. All right, and to continue our, nope, that was wrong, Becky. Got to do half double crochet first. See, I can't talk and work at the same time. Let me finish this shell. All right. And then there's a treble. And a double. And a half double. All right, so now the next thing we would do is skip a stitch and single crochet, but you'll notice we've got not enough room to do another shell, but we really need to end this. So we're going to skip and just join this with one of the stitches along here. And see, that doesn't look too bad. So skip a stitch or two, and then let me double check what I've done here. So you've worked your pattern around, and the actual stitch that we should end in is right there. But we have 1, 2, 3 stitches. So I'm just going to end it. I'm going to skip 2 stitches here at the end and end in that 3rd stitch from there. And that's going to be where we end. If you wanted to, you could actually do a chain and then slip stitch back in and give you something to hang it with if you wanted to. But I want to keep these more mat-like. I'm going to leave about 6 inches of the thread. And I'm going to just slip stitch that closed. And then we'll just sew this tail in and we'll call it good. I do with my needles? Oh, right here. All right. So it is a little off in my pattern on how to finish it, but you don't really have space to make another complete pattern. And I'm okay with how it looks. And now I'm going to I've turned it over to the back of it, and I'm just going to weave my tail down into some of these stitches where I can hide it. And I just go where I'm in a shell and go through the stitches of the shell and try to split the thread a little bit. And you sew that in like so. And then come back, go over one of them and back through and try to catch the actual tail and sew through the tail. That way it locks those fibers all together. I hope that makes some sense. And now I'm going to trim this away. And this bit will get added to my tail box that I've got for my big tree of life project I have in my brain. So now we've got a little purple one. There we go. And then I've got this one that I made at Starbucks the other day. So now the fun part. If you guys would like to win these, put a number in between, let's see how many people we got. We only got 17 people here. Let's just do 1 to 50. And I will mail this anywhere. So this is 2 handmade dishcloths. Okay. And I'll mail them anywhere. So if you're out of country, that's fine. You can join in. I might make the guys at the post office scratch their head. I'm going to open random.org and we'll do a drawing. So 1 to 50. As soon as it looks like there's 17 numbers there. Oh, could somebody put a number in for Carol? Because she was here. Did someone put a number in for Carol? Thank you, Sandra Louise. That's an airplane taking off. I'm only 10 minutes from the Columbia Airport, so it's Monday morning, so all the commuters are jumping on. Ann put 4. All right, I think we got Carol covered. All right, so I guess, is that everybody that wants to play? Is that everybody? I guess I'll put in a stop just so you removed it. Okay. All right. We got it. It's all good. So let's see. Can we get it to do? All right. Generate. Did it do? 26. Ruth has 25. Does anybody have 26 exactly? So looks like Ruth has won the dishcloths. All right. Awesome sauce. So I'll get those in the mail. So you get a pink one and a purple one. And I worked a little tight this morning. So yeah. It's all good. It's all good. But I think they look cute. So congratulations to Ruth. And thank you guys for being here. I'll get this typed up. And either I'll put it both in the group and in my description box, but you're going to have to give me a little bit of time, and because I want to make sure I type it up so it makes some sense, because I just was sitting in the coffee shop making notes with that one. All right. So I will see some of you later today, and in about an hour, Janet Nash will be on. So thank you guys so much for being here. And Teresa, I'll send you a copy. All right. Take care, you guys. Have a great day. Bye.